Okay, number 18. The index of difficulty of a particular test is 0.10. What does this mean? Okay, this is item analysis. So for item analysis, what are the different categories there? By the way, difficulty index has something to do with the proportion of students who got the test item correctly, no? So again, this is the proportion of students who got the test item correctly. Okay? So meaning, the higher the value of the difficulty index, the easier the exam. The lower the value of the difficulty index, the more difficult the exam is. Okay, yan po yung main principle niya. Okay? So, what are the possible values of difficulty index? So, let me just write that. So, we have 0.8 to 1 perfect. The test item is very easy. So, actually, that's 0.81. 0.60 to 0.80. So 0.61 to 0.80. This is an easy item. 0.41 to 0.60. This is average. 0.21 to 0.40. That is difficult. And then 0.0 to 0.20, this is very difficult. Okay, so this is how we interpret, no? This is how we interpret the difficulty index. But here we have 0.10. Okay, so 0.10 meaning to say it falls under the interval dito sa pinakababa, 0.0 to 0.20. So that's actually very difficult. Okay, so only few people got it correctly. So the best answer is letter D. Find the test item. Okay. So I'm just waiting for the feedback of Sir Brian, no? Wait lang po, guys. Ma'am Regine, nandito ba si Ma'am Regine?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, paki-post na lang po ma'am sa GC natin, ma'am, yung ano po, para makapasok po si Sir Brian. Nandito na si Sir Brian. So I'll just continue this one up to item 20, guys, ha? Up to 20. Okay, so let's continue to item number 19. So you found out that the difficulty index of item number 3 is 0.45 and the discrimination index is 0.14. What should be done to the test item? Okay. So as what I have said kanina, in terms of the difficulty index, this is our classification. Okay, so this is for difficulty index. Okay, for discrimination index, okay, so we have different classification. 0.40 to positive 1. Okay, this is very good item. Very good item. 0.30 to 0.39. This is reasonably good. Okay, 0.20 to 0.29. This is marginal. And then below 0.20, that's a poor test item. Okay, this is how we interpret. Okay, now in this item, by the way, we can only reject, revise, or retain a test item after considering the difficulty index and the discrimination index. You have to consider again these two measures. Okay, dapat nating tignan si difficulty at saka si discrimination. Now, remember guys, ganito po, para mas madali nyo po maintindihan. Okay? For the difficulty index, okay, we will just label this as okay or not okay. No, we do not want a test item to be very easy. We do not want a test item to be very difficult. So, not okay po kapag 0.81 to 1. Kapag easy, okay lang yan. Okay? Kapag average, okay. Kapag difficult, okay. But very difficult, that is not okay. Okay? So remember ha, kasi most people are confused on this part of item analysis. In terms of discrimination, kapag very good, that's okay. Reasonably good, that's okay. Marginal, that is okay. Kapag poor item, that is not okay. So how do we do our interpretation? Okay? How do we interpret the test item? Kapag si difficulty index and discrimination, let's compare. Okay? If difficulty index is okay, discrimination index is okay, then we have to retain the test item. Okay? If the difficulty index is not okay, tapos the discrimination index is okay, we have to revise the test item. Okay? Or the question. So, the question. Now, if the difficulty index is okay, but the discrimination index is not okay, we have to revise the question. I mean, revise the option. Okay? Now, if the difficulty index is not okay, and then the discrimination index is not okay, this is the time that we reject. So, let's remember that. Now, let's classify, no? 0.45. 0.45, question. Yung 0.45, is that easy, average, or difficult? So where do I place this one? 0.45. 0.45, that is average. So therefore, this is okay, no? So 0.45, this is okay. Okay? Okay lang yan. 0.14 is actually poor, right? Kasi 0.20 below in terms of discrimination per item na yan siya. So this will be not okay. So okay plus not okay. Alin po dyan? Okay and not okay. So we have revised the option. So in other words, we have to revise. Okay? Isa lang naman yung merong word na revise here. So the option here is to revise. Okay? So in particular, we have to revise the option. So that is how we interpret. Okay, very good, revised. Okay, and then last item. So last item. In her conduct of item analysis, teacher Cristy found out that a significantly greater number from the upper group of the class got item number 5 correctly. This means that the test item A has a negative discriminating power, valid, easy, or positive discriminating power. So, greater number. So, kapag mas marami po sa upper group, okay, compared to the lower group, then the test item has a positive discriminating power. Okay? So, what's the reason for that? Because in computing the discrimination index, we have to subtract the upper group minus the lower group. Okay? Divided by the number of takers or criterion group. Criterion group. Okay? So when I say criterion group, this is the number of people in the upper or in the lower group, no? Which should be equal for item analysis. So this discrimination will only have a positive value. No, if we come to think of it, this will only be positive if upper group is greater than the lower group. Kapag equal po si upper at saka si lower, then we are expecting 0. No discrimination. So I